Hello, hello, everybody. How's it going? Good morning. It is Thursday morning. It is the day after Tesla earnings. Yesterday, we had a really good time hanging out, watching the market reaction. And I feel like, I hope we learned quite a bit about how to utilize some of the tools on TrendSpider. Good morning to you guys. I hope that y'all are doing well. My name is Jason Krutzky. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning for another pre-market pulse. Now today, we are just hanging out. I have no agenda here. I've got we had a handful of people yesterday. If you were on the live stream, you know that we were doing a giveaway for a guess the open Tesla guess the open price, and I've got a couple of names, a couple of lines up on my chart here. Names of viewers who guessed what they thought might be the opening price of Tesla today. These are the three closest participants so far. We've got one other person down at 150 bucks. We'll see if it can get down there. My guess is that it might not. But then also we did have another viewer yesterday who was saying that she had a very specific price target. I believe it was like 163.25. Maybe a couple of y'all were there. I don't know. But she had a very specific price target. And we'll see. She never filled out the form, though, so she doesn't get to participate, unfortunately, in the fun here. But I'm excited to see how this opens up. I've got a red line drawn at 163.91 level. That is the pivot low, the daily pivot low from, I don't know, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. A little bit longer than that. But it'd be interesting to see what they do here. How are you guys doing today? Is everybody doing good? I see a few of you here. I know it's early, and I know I was live a bunch yesterday, so kind of anticipated today would be a little bit slow. But how are y'all doing today? It's happy 420 to those who celebrate. Presumably none of you guys celebrate. But I hope you guys are doing good. Let's talk about kind of what you've got your eyes on this morning. I'm curious to know where y'all's heads are at. What are you thinking about the markets here? How are you trading them? Talk to me. It's so much more fun here when I have folks to talk to. What's up, 88? Good morning. Good morning. You had a bid to buy Tesla 167 and it never executed. I guess that was yesterday during the open session. Well, you know, I mean, you got to figure at this point, they're this close to that pivot low. They might as well go take all the stops. You got to assume quite a few stops just below this. So I'm kind of anticipating a bit of a flush if they tag it. But then it's what they do after that that's more interesting to me. Do they flush it and then immediately buy it back up? Or do they flush it and then it become resistance? You know, do they do something like that? Or do they do something like that? I don't know. If they gave us this move during open hours, I would be more excited about it. Maybe they come and just tag it and bounce. I feel like this level is going to be pretty important, so we'll have to see. So 88, what are you thinking, man? What's your game plan for today outside of just Tesla? What's your thoughts on the market? 6 price cuts. It will flush and go sideways. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's already down. Was it down from highs yesterday? Almost 11%. This is a pretty darn big move. Let's see something. Let's do this. Let's just say, if it were. what I'm doing here, I'm just testing to see if how many times this has happened. This hasn't happened many times where we've opened. Let's just presume we're going to open 11% lower. I'm not saying we're going to, but that's about where we're at right now. 11% lower than we closed yesterday. So it looks like this has happened 8 times. It's been a while. Here's a few of those times. $50-50 win rate 1 day later. But lots of no-go highlighting. Not a good look, frankly. Not something you'd necessarily want to dig into. Vincent, what's up, Vincent? Good to see you here again. Some long puts that I would scale out of in the AM and wait and see. Cisco and Bank of America. How's Cisco looking? Let's turn this guy off. So I guess I had some levels drawn on my chart. I don't know when these are from. I haven't looked at Cisco in a long time. But they did hold lows on the monthly. An electric vehicle. Why is this commercial? There we go. Much better. Dang, what happened with Cisco yesterday? It's pretty ugly. There's this to keep an eye on. 47.76 anchored view up from those lows September last year. We are right there. Didn't really make a new high, did they, relative to this? They did gain the closes, though. Interesting. Check out BAC. I know the big banks have been working past couple of days. Oh, interesting. This thing kind of sold off, huh? I haven't looked at it in a minute. I guess I have some lines on my chart for this guy, too. What the story is with this. You gotta look back that far. Probably not worth looking. Interesting. This one's a little trickier. CHPT. Charge point. This one was a burner some time ago, huh? I guess I have old lines. You gotta go out big time. Holy guacamole. That's nasty. Huge order flow, took on some 48 puts. Was that on Cisco? Presumably. Let me see. Yeah. Let's see what we see here. What were the what was the order flow on? Like, what was the strike? You know, talking about VIX, I had a friend hit me up yesterday, and he was kind of saying the same thing. He didn't understand why VIX wasn't more elevated. He's relatively newer to trading. And the thing I tried to tell him was, you know, the market, it's my, and maybe this is just an opinion, but the market is a little bit smarter than all of the news surrounding the market. So I think you have to just listen. Like our buddy Brian Shannon says, only price pays. You know, like you got to tune out a lot of the stuff and just, what is the market doing? It doesn't mean that volatility won't come back. It just means maybe the market doesn't feel there is as much to worry about as we are being told there is to worry about. Could all change today, right? You know, but until it changes, you kind of just have to accept it for what it is. Trade what you see, not what you hear, that kind of thing. It can be tricky to do because we all want to like predict the next thing that's going to happen. Because if we predict the next thing that's going to happen, then, and we're right, you know, like we capitalize on it better. But that just gets you into so many sticky situations. At least it's gotten me into so many sticky situations over the years. You really just got to trade what's on the chart. And like I said, things can change, but until they change, they are what they are. Don't try to necessarily understand that, as would be my thought on it. Trade the chart. Let's take a look at what's going on with the indices here. Stock order flow, gotcha. Huge blocks. Interesting they've made it this far here on SPY. I'd be surprised if they don't go for this high. If they don't, it'll tell us something. New to options trading, still in paper. Go live next week. Learning from you guys. Right on, man. Vincent, a very small piece of advice. Take it slow. Take it slow. Especially if you're trading options. What kind of options are you trading? Are you trading like zero DTEs? Are you trading individual equity? Are you trading ETF? Are you trading 2 weeks out, month out, quarter out? Hey, Matthew. Good morning. How are you today? I'm gonna pop back over to Tesla real quick, see where we're at over the. Ooh, Gateskin. Nailing a little pivot there. Nice job, Gateskin. Don't know if you're with us this morning. Mostly ETF 2 weeks out. Cool. Right on. That's good. At least buys you a little bit of time and also liquidity. You know, obviously, if you're new to options, you're probably learning this, but options, the discrepancy between the bid and the ask is what can kind of hurt you. So trading things that have lots of liquidity with tight spreads, very, very helpful. Matthew Rosa, you're awesome. I'm glad to hear it. I'm doing pretty good myself. I was feeling pretty lousy yesterday and got some good sleep. Feeling quite better this morning. So thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Michael, Tesla didn't add any Bitcoin this quarter, so crypto went down. That might be one of the reasons why. I noticed this the other day. I don't know if you guys have seen this. If we go to the weekly here. Check this out. Anchor VWAP from all-time high. I mean, pretty nice rejection there at the anchored VWAP from the all-time high. They also came into, you guys have heard me talk a lot about these fair value gaps. They also came into this fair value gap here. Filled it. Ethereum, same look. Anchored VWAP all-time high. Even a nicer test of it than Bitcoin. These anchored VWAPs from these big pivotal spots are important. Always know where they are at the very least. You know, this anchored VWAP hasn't mattered for quite a long time, but last time we came into it in March of 2022, really nice rejection, move lower. Totally different look to the chart at this point. I'm not saying it's going to reject and go lower here, but you would at the very least anticipate a reaction. And that's really what we got, is you got a nice reaction. Looks like they didn't quite tag it. A few bucks off. $10. But a decent spot to try a little short if you're able. That first, well, I guess technically this is a second test, because this would be your first, but not a surprise to see that rejection there. And there's going to be a big spot, you know, if you're bullish on crypto, you really are going to need to see this gain, and they could do a little bit of funny stuff before they end up moving it higher. If they're going to do that, you know, you could see them consolidate, accumulate around here, because this just represents, you know, where your average buyer owns ETH from. When you short a stock, is the minimum 100 shares. You want to know something even maybe more wild? I've never shorted equity before, so I don't think there are minimums, but I actually don't know myself. If I'm interested in taking a short on something, I'll buy puts, or I'll look for opportunities to go long on a test somewhere lower. Bangarira nailed a little pivot too. And Chad. I mean, really, all these guys kind of nailed pivots. Props where props is due. I don't know if there's a rule to that. Let's see. I mean, we could search it. Short sales require minimum margin equal to 150% of the value of the position at the time. I don't think it's 100. I don't think there's like a minimum. Now maybe the broker that you use has a minimum, but I don't think that there's just a flat minimum across all brokerages. What brokerage are you using, Vincent? Good morning to the new folks who have settled in here. I appreciate you guys coming through. Hopefully you're doing well this morning. If anybody has any TrendSpider questions for me, hit me up with those questions. More than happy to answer anything for you. I don't have any agenda this morning. I'm just hanging out, watching this Tesla open. We're going to be picking a winner here, or we're going to be finding out who our winner of yesterday's Guess the Open contest is here in about 8 minutes. I can look at those charts. I'm not going to talk price targets. Antonio, good morning. How are you? Hope you're well. But yeah, we can take a look at Apple. Let's take a look at Apple. One thing I don't do here, my friend, is talk price targets. But we can talk about trend. We can talk about what's going on. So what are they doing so far? If you know me, let me add it back. There's a really simple way for me, a really simple tool that I use to understand and establish what's going on with trend. Apple's a little tricky because there aren't like proper closes higher or lower, but what are we doing right now? We're sideways, yes, but we are making lower highs and lower lows, are we not? And have been for some time. So Apple is at a pretty decent place, or near a pretty decent place to kind of reject. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's going to. But if you notice kind of what they've done so far, you make a high, you make a low, you make a lower high, you make a lower low, you make another lower high, just barely, you make another lower low, just barely. So they do keep expanding the range to the downside, and they keep on failing to make a new high. So if this trend continues, then you would anticipate that somewhere up here in this like 171 area, they won't be able to get through and make new highs. Could they make new highs? 100%. Yes, they could. They need to gain 176 to make a new high, something that they have not done since January of 2022. And something that we would not expect them to do simply because so far they haven't done it. But they could. What do they do if they make a new high? Well, then essentially you've gone outside, right? You've expanded the range, you've taken the low, and you've taken the high. So any number of things can happen. They could continue just to go stay higher. Don't know if they will. They could reject and then go sideways for a while, right? Once you expand the range, you take out both sides, then you would anticipate some sideways. Excuse me. Or they could fail it here and make another lower high and reverse and start heading back lower. And if they were to do that, then maybe your anticipation would be that over time they would come in and take out these lows and make another new one. How long that takes and how that all plays out, I have no idea. You've got earnings here on May 1st. So let's do something real quick. Let's just take a look. What do we got? So essentially got like 9 candles. Actually, absolutely, Matthew. Yes, I'll show you. Let me see something real quick. First thing I'm trying to do is I'm wanting to I'm wanting to see kind of what this run up from where we're at right now. So this about gets us there. So you guys can see the earnings dates. Let's change this to 1 less candle. So essentially what I'm doing, I'm back testing, entering a position today and then selling on earnings day. You could even do it the day before. Just kind of want to see on average, how does it tend to perform? I might have this period wrong though. Nope. Okay. So I need to change this. And then six bars. I need to make this like and then this is more about right. More or less. It's pretty close. 59% win rate. Your average return 0.63%. Risk ratio almost 1. I mean, this isn't very good, frankly. None of this is good enough to really be confident in any sort of trade. You could also look into earnings. You could just say earnings date is today, and then what happens, I don't know, 30 days later. Just how does Apple tend to perform off of an earnings result? %62 win rate. Average win. I mean, this is really the number that you want to pay attention to. Your average return and your risk reward ratio. So average return 2.66, risk reward 1.12. Just to kind of get a general sense of where Apple tends to be a period of time after earnings. It's fun to play around with this stuff, whether or not you end up using it for a trade idea. I can't tell you whether you should or you shouldn't. Generally speaking, if you see this no-go highlighting, this red highlighting, it's probably not worth doing. With the earnings here, you're going to see this no matter what, pretty much. I guess I could go back. I can go back farther to get more positions. For a strategy to be deemed kind of safer, you want at least 50 positions. You want enough historical data so that essentially your strategy is performing in lots of different conditions, right? Lots of different overall market conditions. Oh, hold up. We got to go back to Tesla. Who's our winner? I'm pretty sure Gateskin is our winner. What did he say? 164.81 or so. Or she, I don't know. Actually, no, hold on. So we opened 166.18. This was our open. Woo! Banga. Banga is the winner. Is Banga here? Banga, if you're here, congratulations. If not, I'll be emailing you. Nice job, sir. You were very close. Banga was within like 40 cents. 60 cents? Wow, impressive. Bulls getting feisty here. Look how close they came to those previous lows. Okay, let's get to some questions. Antonio, I'm glad you're doing good. Thoughts on natural gas? Oh man, natural gas is like the hardest thing to trade ever. So I would say, unless you know something that other people don't know. There's easier things to trade. That's my thoughts on it. I mean, just everything that I've ever heard about natural gas, I've maybe taken like one attempted trade on natural gas in my life. But everything I've ever heard about natural gas it's like the hardest thing to trade. So my assumption would be, or kind of my advice would be, maybe find something easier to trade. Yeah, so maybe 88 could give you some advice, Antonio. Known as the Widowmaker. Right, exactly. That's why I stayed away from it. Okay, so Austin, any FVG fair value gaps on Apple? And what's the VWAP off the low? Well, which low? You talking about the near-term low? This guy? VWAP off the January lows puts you at 149.08 as of today. Obviously, this is going to grow and change. Fair value gaps. Let's take a look. Just adding the fair value gap indicator here. On the daily. Now, of course, you got to keep in mind that the fair value gap is based off of ATR, right? So if you change the ATR settings, the gap factor is an ATR setting. So you change that and you're going to get different looks. So then it's a matter of what you deem to be important. Let me see if I can get this ad off of here. Doesn't seem that I can. We keep going. Yeah, you've got a little one right here. between 162, 164. I see an even smaller one at 153.45 right in here. But you'd have to decrease the gap factor for the platform to find it. I'll make it like, there it is, 0.1. So here's all of your little ones. Here's a small one, here's a small one, here's a small one. This one's a slightly bigger one. But yeah, you've definitely got a few. I would call this one 1, 2. Even though it doesn't, I guess right here. I'm surprised it's not highlighting this. There's probably a good reason for it. What's up, Sonia? Man, you were close on Tesla. I would be willing to bet that it gets there at some point. But Banga was our winner. VIX is up. Look at you. There you go. By quite a bit, actually. Right. No. I'm here with you, Sonia. I get it. I agree. They come that close to those lows and they don't at least swipe them. That's surprising. Sonia, is that your final target or is that a first target? Anybody else seen anything interesting out there? Oh, Matthew, right. I need to answer this. On TrendSpider, is there any way to filter historically what happens after a 2% down day on Apple? Yeah. I mean, filter, I presume you're talking about test, strategy test. So if you wanted to find a 2% down day, you would just say price open is greater than price close by at least 2%. And then you could say one candle. Happens a lot. So we'll just like look at one entry here. Here's your 2% or more down day. Here's your entry. Here's your exit. So because this is a daily condition, right? The condition is not true until the daily candle closes. So this daily candle closed lower than 2%. So we enter in on the next candle and then we exit one candle later. So we're entering in here, we're exiting here. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Yeah, so what are the results there? It's wow. It's happened 524 times over the last... Oh, I'm looking at Tesla. Jeez, I'm sorry. The dummy. I bet it's happened a lot on Apple, though, too. 809 times on Apple over the past 27 years. 56% win rate. Your average return is 0.41%. Risk to reward ratio is 1.12. So your issue here is the win rate is not high enough per your risk to reward ratio. So the numbers don't quite add up for this. You'd really want the win rate to be a little bit higher. So you can try simple things, you know, you could say, like, let's just say price is greater than, we'll just do something simple. Price is above the 200 SMA. How does that change things? Ooh, it doesn't help. Cuts down your positions in half. Your win rate stays the same pretty much. Went up 2%. But your risk to reward ratio is still not good enough. Yeah, so I'm happy to do it, Matthew. Hopefully, does this make sense to you? How I did that? It's actually, if you think about it like very simply and logically, it's pretty simple to script, but I do understand sometimes getting caught up with how to do stuff. Okay, awesome. I'm glad you get it. That should help you quite a bit. Or you can even say like, let's do this. So this is kind of a different idea. It's the same idea, just like way more specific. So what I did was I said that price opened greater than price closed by at least 2%, but I also said that price closed within range of price open by plus or minus 2%. So actually, let's make this like much tighter. So now we've really tightened it up. We've defined that price closed less than the open by 2, but because it's by at least, it's taking into account anything more than 2% and lower. So then we cap that using within range of. There are several types of instances where you'll need 2 conditions to define things. So like, for example, let's say you want to define that price is breaking above a VWAP or something like that. You would want to say that it's broken through a VWAP. I'll show you. So you'd say indicator, VWAP. Price broke through it. Your buffer area width, you want to keep this at 0 because you don't want an area around the line. In theory, you don't want an area around the VWAP that it broke through. You want to know that price broke through the VWAP, period. But this doesn't define the direction that you broke through. This could be coming from above or below, right? You could be breaking down. You could be breaking up. So then you'd use a secondary condition and you'd say price close greater than or less than, whichever one you want, greater than indicator VWAP. So not just broke through, but broke through to the upside. It broke through and it closed above. So that's just another example of an instance where you would want to define multiple things about your condition, because there aren't definers in here that say broke above or broke below. It just says broke through. So see how we've tightened this up now, and now we're entering on a candle after literally like a 2% down day, 2.04% down day. Here's another one. 1.9888. Usually you have issues with exit conditions. What are your issues with exit conditions? $34,446 for DJX. No thoughts here on this. High yield corporate bonds. Yeah, this is completely outside of my my wheelhouse, Austin. I'm sorry, brother. I know nothing about high yield corporate bonds. But if we just are looking at that ratio chart, holding a low. But made a lower high. So you would anticipate lower. Sometimes I just want to see what price does after a set of conditions, but I don't know what to set exit conditions to because I have no idea what price will do after. So I would just use candles past for that. Candles past is kind of the simplest. You don't know what you want to, what you want your exit conditions to be. Just exit after X candles. Q's rallying. SPY operator buying already done means it is buy on dip. Lucky if you get may go up to 420. And we'll see. We will see, Sonia. Gotcha, Austin. Lows under 0.18 are the highs usually on SPY. Huh. me see something real quick. Something I have not tried. Oops. Interesting. I've actually never looked at this comparison here. All right, Sonia. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. I'm going to be out of here in like 10 minutes. Yeah, Matthew. Interesting. Can you educate us on the importance of the high yield corporate debt, Matt? Not really too familiar. Okay, right on. Just curious. I'm not familiar with that either. Well, Tesla caught a nice little bounce. Let's see if it holds. Sonia's saying, what are we saying, Sonia? May go up to 420. Just find it interesting the two have traded alongside each other for a while. Now that AI expansion has come around, NVDA starts to outpace AMD. Yeah, this AI stuff is pretty wild, man. I'm actually working on a video right now that I'm really stoked to share with you guys using ChatGPT to build a profitable trading bot for TrendSpider. I did it with 6 prompts. It built me a bot on for Tesla. 15-minute bot on Tesla that beats buy and hold by 400%. We're editing the video right now. Should be releasing it in the next like week or so. It's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. I play completely dumb, act like I don't know anything about trading, and just ask it like super basic questions. Each question that I ask it is derived from the previous question. I even ask it to explain how to like script things in TrendSpider, and it tells me. Gosh, it's really wild. Trusty day trade platforms was with Robinhood, went to TD. Yeah, I mean, I use TD. I have for some time. And I've never really had any issues with it. I mean, maybe it's gone down once or twice over the years, but for the most part, never had any issues with it. And I'd be keen on using something like TD over Webull. I'm sure Robinhood is fine. I just don't. I haven't used Robinhood in 5 years, and I don't know if the spreads are. I don't know if they're better or worse. I'm sure they're probably pretty comparable. Um, yeah, I have friends that absolutely swear by Tasty Trade. I tried to use it, and man, I I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but I just had such trouble with Tasty Trade. Something about the settings in the platform would. There were a couple of times when my whole intention was to sell something and it ended up buying something for me, and vice versa. I ended up having to cancel my account with them, and I actually like had to call and get on the horn with multiple people there because I lost quite a bit of money, and they ended up refunding me because the ordering engine was so weird. I was shocked that they gave me my money back, but they gave me my money back. So the fact that they gave me my money back tells me that there was an issue. There was actually a real issue. Yeah. So TD was purchased by, I believe, Schwab, right? Oh, my dogs might start barking here. If they do, I apologize. My guess is the platform will not change at all, man. I think way too many people are on TD. The guy who started Tasty Trade developed Thinkorswim. Sosnoff, I believe is his name. Hold on, I'm gonna go on mute for a second. Or I'm gonna attempt to. Oh, my dog just knocked down all of my stuff. I have a monitor on the floor and it's broken. So I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you have a great rest of your trading day. And now I know never to bring my dog into the room when I'm live. That is the way. Yeah, have a great rest of your trading day. I will see you guys all next week. I will be live again Tuesday morning pre-market and Thursday morning pre-market 9 a.m. Eastern time, both of those times. And again, congratulations to our winner on the Tesla trade. Great job, man. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you.